Ominchugi inge podangdo tuzumsangi kuingi ngoni rangzim chuko ngozum den zembe zawela me jabla chagio obinjig de onju tamjegi chebenji gorngur wanchugi je dayendo lampende chebambo palendo we jabla chagio palen zawela marimboje dagi ningar bemezin rola dewa me ba dawrajune kuzondogi jingilabdos tuzumsangi tamjegi ngo Ridankin gorgesu kyabda karin zongda machimba tirin zawe lama dambe shabgi bemo tu utima me bala gozam rabdun du den gobe changse shin chwe do gyabso chiwo dadan lo mengyu chingi labar zedo se manjuru namga dangyam besim jen tamche korwa dungi gi gyamso len chede namba tamche kemba zongju kyabdan dorji chang chimbe goba lang gobar cha dei shedo tambe chu ki chengin zamma cha or giwal Kulonda kunjugi rimbandam do yurimbochi ne chishin sungbashindo setapte sembarasho. So we will once again reminder that meditation or Kum as taught by the Buddha Shakyamuni. There are many different kind of steps of the meditation, but the first and the most important is to bring your mind today in this place, in this body, in this moment, or to the present, and develop awareness. Right? Awareness is the first step. So there are many methods, and the method we are going to do is the Vajrayana's skillful way of Vajrayana. Vajrayana is called skillful because so many different ways to understand and tame your mind through yoga, through lung, through tara, through visualization, through guru, through many other ways. So today we'll be doing the breathing meditation. So in the breathing meditation, first are the 7 postures of Buddha Vairochana. So the way that we do, staying right now, left leg inside, right leg outside, how we stay normally, it is called Sempe Kiltong. Sempe Kiltong means the way Bodhisattva stay, Chanchu Sempa in Semma. So if you are Bodhisattvi, Chanchu Bodhisattvi, that. And then the spine, should be straight. In the picture it is said like a gold coin, if you stack a gold coin, like straight gold coin, that is true. And then the shoulders spread out like the wings of eagle or a vulture. Then for hand, for this time, it has to be on your knee. And when you breathe out, open up all the fingers. And just a second before you breathe in, the thumb should press on the the ring fingers to block the Roma and Chama passage. And then the neck should be slightly bent down, and then the tongue should be touching the upper palate, eyes open but slightly looking downward. So these 7 are called the 7 postures of Buddha Vairochana. In our Himalayan or Chökyi, it is called Namnang Chödyn. Sangye Namban Nangze means Vairochana. Chödyn means his 7 postures of Sangye Namban Nangze. Right? And the reason why we do it is Lui Tang na Tsa Tang. When the body is in correct position, the channels are in correct position. Tsa Tang na Lung Tang. Lung means the air, oxygen. Lung Tang na Sem Tang. Then the mind also goes in the correct direction, into the wisdom direction. Okay. So now we know the body posture, we know and then the next one is the breathing. Whenever we breathe out, negativity comes out in the form of a black smoke and dissolve into the elements, 4 elements. When we breathe in, the blessing of the Chizendrema Buddhas in the form of a multicolored light, yellow, red, orange, etc. 5 colored light goes inside and dissolve into our body. And then when we breathe in, first, when you start first exhalation, and then breathe in very subtly, and then exhale. It's called Maningilung. Maning means non-gender, gender neutral. And then the second time, little bit more deeper, is called the female or molung. Then the third one is deep, hold, exhale is called polong or the male wind. Okay. So after the 7 postures are there, our first exhalation to clear all the stale airs inside our body. Inhale the Maningilum together with the blessings. Hold below the belly. Exhale negativity. Inhale the Molung. Hold. Exhale. Then inhale the Polung. Hold. Exhale. One set. Second set. Inhale the Maningilum. Exhale. Inhale the Molung. Exhale. Inhale the Polung. Exhale. Then the final set, and just a reminder that after you breathe out, keep at least 1 second gap. Otherwise, you will inhale the very stale air you exhaled. Okay? Inhale the Maningilum. Hold. Exhale. Inhale the Molung. Exhale. Inhale the Polung. Hold. Exhale. Typically, if you do it on an empty stomach, it's more easy. After heavy breakfast, it's a little difficult. Okay. And always remember to, if you do it, this just 3 sets is not a problem, but in case you do it many more sets, very important to keep the air below the navel. If you don't know how to, in the beginning, if you swallow one time, it will, after you breathe in, if you swallow your saliva once, it will naturally push the air below the navel. If you keep the air in the chest, then it can cause sicknesses. In our, the yogic tradition, we say that, the mind, body, and the our external experience, there are a lot of connections. When the wind goes into the wrong channel, then we see spirits, etc. There was once, the one of our yogi from Bhutan. He was a great yogi, but he was not very. He was meditator, but he was new to the tsalung. So then I think he was started doing the breathing. Not today, ours is very basic. No need to worry. Others want just the breathing only. We do for 2 hours. Every breath you hold for at least 1-2 minutes, 3, and then it takes. So he was saying that after he started doing that, that every night he sees one, like a red kind of a spirit, always chasing him and doesn't let him sleep at all. Then they did so many puja and everything, then nothing was happening. Then later they said one who is experienced in the breathing and the yoga, when he checked, his posture was incorrect. Instead of, when you are doing the posture, you have to keep your body straight and hold the air. He was, so because his posture was incorrect, the air was going in the wrong direction. So we say, tsa also we have a dengitsa, degitsa. So very expert Buddhist Nangpa game doctor. They are very amazing. This only I learned only recently, because I recently met a doctor and they were checking, somebody, and they said, your sickness is nothing to do with the, Twengi Nemembe, because there is a Twengitsa. I was so amazed that, in the Buddhism, the traditional medicine, even in the Tsa, there is a one Tsa which is called Twengitsa. From there, they can know your sickness is from imbalance or is it from harm by spirit. So that is why there's and we are doing it really seriously for hours and hours. Then I think the postures, especially holding the air below the the navel, is very important. So with that we did the concentration, concentration or awareness meditation, and then after that yesterday we did yesterday, and we should be doing the motivation meditation, that every mother sentient being, wherever they are, whether they are God, human being, they are king, they are ordinary human being, they are God or hungry ghost realm, animal realm, hell realm, every mother sentient being want happiness, do not want suffering. May they be happy, may they be free from suffering, and for the benefit of myself and every sentient being wishes to be fulfilled, to be elevated from difficulties and suffering. I am going to do the Tara practice. That aspiration we should develop. If you, as you do that, your heart will become bigger, bigger, bigger. Your compassion will grow. That's how you grow compassion. You can't say that somebody will say, you be kind, and okay, I'll be kind, and tomorrow you become kind person, Like there's some sort of switch there. If they say, don't get angry, okay, from tomorrow, no more anger, That doesn't work like that. You have to train your mind. So as you do like that, then slowly, slowly, when your heart expands, then what happens will become like a Cherezi. When in the Cherezi you must have seen, he holds, I think the forearm, he holds, I think Chem here in the Metopema, no? Metopema is fully open. If fully open represents in the Cherezi's heart, he can fit all the sentient being in his love and compassion. In our heart, we can't fit that many people. If somebody says, who do you truly love? You may count, maybe 5, But then from the 5, that person, sometimes he irritates me, so maybe 4. From the 4 also, generally he's good, but sometimes he says very mean things, so maybe 3. Finally we might be reduced to 1, or maybe only ourselves at the end, right? That's why, at the end of the day, the most important VIP is ourselves, if you're really honest about it. That is why whenever we talk about gender, gender discrimination, it actually arises because if you are a man, you want to say men are best because that benefits you indirectly. If you are, etc. gender, race, all the discrimination that we see in the world arises because innerly, we cherish ourselves the most. So when you cherish yourself the most, even if it's 100 rupees, you will say, give me 99, you take the 1 rupee, no? Why? Because of the innerly the selfishness, no? So that's why all the inequality that we see in the world arises from our own way of thinking, way of behaving. No? That is why we destroy the environment. When you destroy the environment, you are destroying the oxygen for not only 7 billion human beings, but how many animals, billions of living beings living in the forest. The whole ecosystem we are destroying, but we don't care, because of the discrimination, external environmental, whatever harm we are doing arises because of our own extreme self-cherishment. That's why as a practitioner, we should try to, we can't be a bodhisattva and forget about yourself, at least learning to treat equally, treat everybody, starting with your own family, friends, every sentient being, that we are all equal in wanting happiness, not wanting suffering. This you have to train. Right? If you don't train that, then there will be life. In our life also, we'll have a lot of conflicts, conflicts, misunderstanding, unable to come to agreement, able to see only your point of view, not others' point of view. All the conflict arises because of that. One of the main reasons. So that is why you should not think that this prayer is just a joke. No, every time you do that, you are training your mind. You are expanding your heart. That is why Changchup Sem Kiet means Jachetami. That means expanding your heart. So that is why we do that thing. Kulong Semke you have to do. Rangi Rangi Beoda. And then after that we started the analytical meditation yesterday. So analytical meditation, now we talked about appreciation meditation, how important it is to appreciate, the fact that you are alive, you have all the faculty to do anything in the life, to do Dharma practice, to do anything. And then if you are born in a, whatever beautiful country you are born, whatever you are born where there's Dharma king, Dharma flourishing, full of blessing. If you are Bhutan, you are born in a place where Guru Rinpoche himself has, in every inch of Bhutan has been blessed by Guru Padma Sambhava, Shabdrung Onam Gyal, Pema Lingpa, Gyal Longchen Ramjam. So many great masters are blessed. So many sacred places are there. And of course, among all the holy places of Guru, probably is the Singizong. And after Singizong will probably be Taksang, Bumthang. These are, these are the place where if you meditate for 7 days, is equivalent to doing retreat for 7 years in other places, because of their blessings. So to be born into this country, many other countries now, that they may have very good roads and everything, but so much pollution that now so many people are getting, children are born with lung diseases, dying of lung cancer. They have to school holiday, work holiday because of the pollution. We don't have it, right? But whatever blessing you have, whether it is anything, even if you are born very beautiful and very tall, but you will say, I'm okay, but you will not focus on that. You will say, but my nose is too big, the surgery is we always focus on the negative aspect, You yourself also, we focus on negative aspect. When you look at others also, we do the same thing, Your parent, your friend, your colleague, there may be many positive aspects and they are good to you, but we forget that. The negative aspect we focus, And then the disharmony comes, dislike, dissatisfaction comes. Even when you have a guru also, if you focus only on the negative aspect of guru, forget about his kindness, his wisdom, his quality, then you will also feel, you will not feel devotion, inspiration, hope. You'll only feel negativity, right? So similar, so that is why that to rejoice and to appreciate all the positive condition is a first step of analytical meditation. And then the second step is to understand that anything that is compounded is by nature impermanent. Today I'm feeling very happy. That's wonderful. I rejoice in this happiness. It's a blessing of, Guru, Tara, my good karma, and also due to many conditions coming together. But these conditions will not last forever. After some time, sun will set, little bit cold, but doesn't matter. That suffering is also arising due to cause and condition, karma, external, your emotion. And these two shall also pass. Again, there will be sunshine. Neither is happiness permanent, nor is suffering permanent. You cannot be happy and suffer. If you want to be happy 24/7, then you have to take some medicine, I think injection all the time. Even that, I heard the effect goes, no? After some time you have to increase the dosage. And after some time the dosage will also not work, I heard, so that is why there is nothing in the world that is permanent, forever, unchanging. Right? Emotions are subject to change. So meditating on the impermanent nature, we recognize that it is impermanent. So while we are together, while we have this opportunity, let's use it in a meaningful way rather than getting extreme attachment and fanatic about it. That is the thing. And then now the third meditation comes is about the karma, lejumde, karma, cause and effect. So in a way, cause and effect is, that generally in the world, some more, I think, other than Buddha's teaching, I think the Buddha, most other religion, from what little I know about other religion, they believe not in the karma but in the creatorship, which means that they believe that there's a God up there that created this world. We are created by a God. Our sufferings are, tests of the God. Our happiness also coming from the God. So it's we have to also serve the God. So basically you are saying that all your happiness and suffering is coming from a big boss up there. So I'm not saying it's a good or bad, I'm just saying that is the view. Of course we respect that. Who are we to say they are wrong or we are right? But that's not the Buddhist point of view, because if you believe like that, karma has no job. That means that whether you're a good person, bad person, what you do doesn't make a difference. All you have to do is, boss to shamokam tango, the boss to butter, you have to butter, As long as the boss is happy, whether you do work or not, doesn't matter. Which also implies that in your life, your effort has you have no control over your destiny, your future, right? So that is not the Buddha's teaching. Similarly, some who are atheists, who don't believe in any kind of dharma or any thing, they believe that everything is nothing. There's no karma, no God, nothing. If you say that, also you are saying that your every effort is nothing. Everything is a chance. You want to go to Bombay, go to I don't know, Vietnam or Bombay, just go to Siliguri and you might accidentally reach Bombay. You want to eat emathatsi, but you make the aloo curry, it might become emathatsi. You plant chili, it might become there. You don't study and sleep for 24/7, but you might be topper. Right? You can eat medicine also, whatever. No need to study for a doctor also. Just give whatever medicine you feel like, and then it's the luck. But whole the idea of studying medicine is that to study the cause and effect of the sickness as well as the cure. That is the study medicine. When you are studying engineering, you are studying the cause and effect of the physics. Physics, you are studying the cause and effect. When you are studying environmental science, you are talking about environmental conservation. You are saying, we are not saying that pollution is a divine punishment. We are not saying pollution is an accident. We are saying climate change are caused by us human beings, our actions, right? Our karma. That is where the Buddha teachings come. Buddha's teachings say that if what is happening in the world, what's happening in your life, in the society, are arising due to cause and condition. That is called the karma. Karma means action. Action and is the result. Right? Now, what happens to a world is not one person's karma. It's the action of the collective karma. Everybody has contributed in one way or another. Some more, some countries more, some countries less, but we are all contributing, to what's happening in the world. That's called collective karma. What happens to you individually is called individual karma. What you are affected, what you are personally affected. Maybe you drink a lot of alcohol, so liver is a problem. Maybe smoking, or maybe you are very health conscious, so you are very good health. but maybe around your family they are not good health because that was your individual karma. So we are, from a Buddhist teaching, we are in the middle. Neither do we say there is a divine being. We don't even talk about whether there is divine being or not. Maybe maybe there may be God realms, etc. We respect them, but we don't say that divine will. Because divine will version, every time you have a diarrhea, you can fight with Guru Rinpoche, And every time you have a problem in a life, it's all caused by Guru Padma Sambhava, Chizindrima. No, we don't say like that. Right? So anyway, neither we say everything is no cause and karma, then your whole life is no purpose. We say that Buddha has said, if you want to know your past life, past 10, 20 years, look at your present. Presently, how is your health, for example? Which family are you born to? Do you have a good relationship with your family or not? Right? From these you will know, do you have a short temper or not? If you have a very short temper, unforgiving, resentment, probably we may have very few friends, if we can't control our temper. Right? So if you have understanding, forgiveness, probably you have a lot of friends. So similarly, if you're healthy, eating healthy, thinking healthy, you may have a good health. If you focus on your career, right now your career might be very good, but maybe you've neglected your family. So Buddha has said, whether if you want to know about your past life or past action, look at your present. If you want to know why you are going to go in the future, next life also, next 10, 20 years, no need to do more, no need to ask somebody. Just check what you are doing right now. Right? So that's why in the Buddhism we never use the word destiny, because destiny means something that cannot be changed. Ours is, if you don't change yourself, then sure, if you eat the chili, for sure you'll get you'll get, your tongue will get burned, but that's not a destiny. That is a sure result of your action. So in the Buddhism we talked about the cause and condition, not destiny. So that's why now the Buddha has given a little bit more in detail about the karma. So if I read directly from the teachings, Buddha said that lenam gyane naso le teido de naso che, because people do all sort of actions, all sort of the active actions, they cause and conditions are created. That is why this world are also diverse, people are also diverse, because even within one country, people are, their family, their the situation, their health situation, they are regional also, different diverse. Within one family also, they are from same father, same mother, but the children will have a different kind of life, different experience, because every choice and the decision that children or you make defines your future. So because of the different choice and different actions, right, that's why the world is also so diverse, so different, because of the thing. Jitini legi chebao, legi tribao. The world is made from karma, arise by karma, or manifested by karma. Is a tulpa, tulpa manifested from your karma. All the sentient beings are, arising from the karma. Is the karma that defines, defines good, bad, happy, healthy, success, unhappy, sadness, etc. Then the next question is, what is the karma? What is the karma? Then the Buddha defined as a karma into two: karma of the mind and karma of the body and the speech. And between these two, sempele and sambele, sempele, mind karma and karma of body and speech. That is, the mind is the boss, right? Because whenever you are saying something, is because you want to say it. If it's not there, mind is not there, that body will not say anything, right? If you are doing something, you might think it's your body doing it. No, it's actually your mind is doing it. Mind wants to go. That is why it is doing it. So that is why karma, it can be divided into the karma of the mind and karma of body and speech. From these two, everything arises, right? Karma, that's so. And then Buddha go into a little bit more detail of, the positive karma is divided into positive karma, negative karma, and the neutral karma. So positive karma means anything that we do from our body in speech and the mind that harms other sentient being, benefit other sentient being, is positive karma. Anything that harms other sentient being is a negative karma. And then the neutral karma, or the not neutral karma, it is called the karma of the kind of one-pointed karma, which means that I don't know whether you all remember, but at one time there was one meditation becoming very popular in Bhutan, and I think in some other country. In that meditation, firstly they were doing the, of course, same like us, awareness, through breathing, water, moss, and after that, there was meditation where they just focus concentration and they think everything is nothing, everything is space, there's nothing, totally nothing, nihilistic. There was that kind of thing. So in the Buddha's teaching, it is said that if you only do the concentration meditation, no accumulation of merit, no understanding of nature of your mind, only concentration, and then maybe at nothing, you will be born into a God realm where there is no body, there is a one God realm, because if your whole life you do good karma, plus you just do the concentration for a long time, so there are some God realm where they don't consume, they don't need the five senses, they don't need to, for example, we like to see beautiful things, we like to hear, we have to eat food, they don't have to, they just stay in that peaceful for like eons and eons until that karma is finished, then they come down. Or they're born into a God realm where there's no body and they are in kind of like a, space out, for eons and eons. And when the karma is finished, then they are reborn back into the samsara. So before, I remember that, they were saying that when you do meditation also, you have to know this meditation, where is it coming from? It's like the same like a social media, they say that nowadays all of us, including myself, we get so much advice from social media. It sounds so good, some sounds so good, because it's but there was a one best advice I read was that he said, if you want to read the social media's advice, first you find out who is saying it, because if you follow their advice, you'll become like that person. So question is, do you want to become like that person or not? Do you want your life to go in that direction? Right? Someone who is like zero bank balance, giving financial advices. If you follow that, you will probably go bankrupt yourself. So before you receive advice, you have to know who is giving it. So similarly for us, at least I'm not, whatever I'm teaching you, maybe it is beneficial, maybe it is not. If not beneficial means I don't know how to speak well. If it is beneficial means it is coming from the Buddha himself. Whatever we are taught is not that I am so learned and I'm sharing because I'm so wise. No, it's learned from the Buddha and the Guru's teaching, and it's coming from the Buddha. Right? You can read it in the Kanjul 84,000 now. Is in English you can read everything, whatever I'm saying, so that at least we know that if we become like Buddha, it's no problem. So similarly, meditation was, they were worried that they were going in that direction, and later they might think they are reach high level, and later they'll just be born into the formless God. So anyway, that is called the third kind of karma, and then the karma, and then karma, and then the chawatsingi, and then dagircha, the gokilche. Yeah, dagircha is that every dagircha means that whatever karma that you do, you will experience, not somebody else will experience. What other person has done negative karma, you will never experience it. If somebody eats breakfast, does your stomach get filled? No. So similarly, whatever karma you do, you will experience. Of course, unless you all are connected in some way. We all do together, or is there some sort of, you all a family, so you're always, sharing wealth, etc. There's some sort of karmic connection. Otherwise, what you do, you will experience, not somebody else experience. That's why before, when I see when I noticed that in some other religion, if they have a child who is a little bit autistic in something, they feel that, oh, I did some sin. Now my sin is being punished on my child, and they feel a lot of guilt. So from Buddhist point of view, that is karma point of view, that is, absolutely not correct from the karma point of view. From the karma, we'll say that the child also has the karma to be born like that, and you also have to have karma to have a child like that. It's a combination of your karma and the child's karma. It is not your fault, that your sin that is being punished on your child. That karma sakha means everybody is owner of their own karma. My karma you can't take away, your karma I can't take away. That is the reason why even the Chisin Dharma has made herself, because of her karma, she has developed such a quality that just by remembering her, praying to her. But we have to remember her. Why? Because the very act of remembering her is a karma of the mind. Right? When we pray to her, we are creating the karma, cause and condition. And because Chisin Dharma is enlightened being with aspiration, our little karma can bear a big result. Because in Punaka you can plant rice 2 times, in Thimphu only 1 time. Why? Because of the quality of the soil. So that is why every karma, we are the owner, nobody else. And then the next point the Buddha talked about in the karma is that from the positive karma, from saving life, you will get the result of a long life in this life and next life. From planting a chili, you will never ever get an orange. It is impossible that you plant a chili and the orange will come out. So every karma, from positive karma, positive result; from negative karma, negative result. And then the last is then the fifth point is that from a small karma you can get a big result. For example, as I mentioned earlier, if you have the example given is small poison can also kill you. Small seed can become a huge tree. Right? So similarly, it is said that, for example, there was a story that before there was one old lady, and she was very poor. She was born into a very poor family. So she saw the kings were making big offering of gold, silver, diamond to the Buddha. And then, she didn't have, but she only got enough money to offer one lamp, just one, I think, maybe a oil lamp, in Indian tradition is oil lamp. So she offered that lamp, and she prayed nothing for herself. She prayed that because of the light I'm offering to Buddha, in the future, may all the darkness of people's ignorance from which the suffering comes, may they be dispelled. And she just made that prayer. And it is said after all the lamps were dying out, her lamp continued to burn for like weeks and weeks. Even other people tried to put it off, they couldn't put it off. Then the Buddha said, this you can't put it off because this is not an ordinary lamp. The old lady who offered it made an aspiration for every sentient being in the entire universe to be free from the suffering and ignorance. Because of this, in the future she'll become a Buddha with the name of one lamp, Marme or something like that. So, it is not that what she offered was so valuable, but her aspiration was for every sentient being. So her one lamp has a worth maybe, tens of billions of other people offering lamp, but only for our own self, right? So it was because of the Chanchuki Sem that it has such. Or similarly, King Ashoka, he offered only sand, but he offered it to Buddha, with a sincere heart. So who you offer it to, with what motivation you offer it to, all of this can define into a, either great blessing or great suffering, great positive negative karma. And then the last one is that there's only, once you have accumulated a karma, there's only 2 directions, 2 outcomes. One outcome is that if you have done negative karma, then you do purification for whatever you have done. You planted a poison tree, poison seed. Before it becomes a tree, you have to dug it out, throw it and burn it, or it will grow into a tree. Similarly, if you've done negative karma, we all have, maybe not this life, but past life for sure, knowingly, unknowingly, when we talk, when we think, even when we eat, everything is negative. There are so many negative karma. So that's why when you do the nyungne, it's very powerful, because when you do nyungne for one whole day, you are not drinking, you are not eating. Even the rice is vegetarian, but when you plant the rice, how many insects get killed, When you dig the soil, how many, pesticide, digging, watering, so many. So there's no food that is totally free of negative karma. So, yeah, so unless you do purification, then negative karma can be purified. If you don't purify even the smallest bit of negative karma, when the right time comes, it will always give a fruit. And even for thousands of eons, it will never disappear when the right time comes. Why right time? For example, when you are young, you fall down, you don't feel. But when you're old, where you fell, it starts to pain, because at that time there are other factors which prevents you feeling the pain, but the injury has not gone. When you're old, then your bones are weak, then the weather is cold, winter, then where you fell starts to pain, because that maybe that time that purification in terms of whatever treatment was not done, we just let it be. So Buddha said that even if the sun can become cold, wind may be catchable, sun and moon might fall down on the earth, but every karma we have accumulated will never ever disappear. But when the right time comes, the karma will always give fruit. Right? So in the meditation of the karma, what we do is that when we do prayer is the tenjur nyaka, tenjur tuking in the gebo dogyo na longje zada ngishe chimi gebo dani kanda kando leni timash indo cheso tang. When the time for departing comes, whether king or a beggar, we all have to leave everything behind. A king has to leave his palace behind. Beggar has to leave his begging bowl and cloth behind, the very body. But the karma they've accumulated will go with them and they will experience the result. And then so, in this meditation, if one traditional way of doing meditation is reflect on whatever negative karma we have done, actions we have done towards others, and then do purification and make a vow to change your future, right? And more kind of personalized way is remember all the people in your life, your husband, your wife, your children, your teacher, people, colleagues, etc. See them as a human being, not as your boss or your spouse or etc. Just simply as a human being who wants happiness, who doesn't want suffering, and then reflect on your own actions. How do I treat my father? Forget that he's my father. He's just a human being. And what I have said to him, if somebody else said to me, how will I feel? Right? Just see people as a saint. Just remove all the labels and just see them as a human being, just ordinary being, and then reflect. What do I say to them? What do I interact with them? What karma am I creating? With all the sentient beings, especially with the people around me. And if you feel that you are creating karma for positive, then you can rejoice and be happy. If not, there's no point in regretting, but you have to change. Otherwise, your future, you can see yourself the future. Right? So let's do that short meditation, personalized one. Yeah. So keep your body straight. Remember all the people, especially people who are affect you a lot in terms of happiness or in terms of giving you suffering. Try to remember them, their faces, as clearly as possible for 1 minute. And after you see them, just see them as a human being. Forget their label. Okay, rich, poor, father, mother, foreigner, Asian. Remove all the labels. Just see them as a sentient being who wants happiness, doesn't want suffering. secondly, reflect on how you interact with them, or what karma you are creating with them. How do you treat them? How do you speak to them? Reflect on that for a moment, without judgment. Is a reflection. Am I fair to them? Am I kind to them? And then remember the words of Buddha. If you want to know your past, look at your present. If you want to know your future, look at what you are doing right now. 텐조링에 갔다 왔을 텐데. 텐조링이 아무래도 뒤긴게 개보적이나. 상기 줬는데 내가 지기다 자가나들은 남바 라시키 이슬람에 치킨나 배워진 개부 컵세 안나루 줍다 대 개부 아니 라시키기 개브디 첸루 수진님 보험 사스 자가기 배워진 빈비사라세 엠세미코 아니 개베 된 거기 볼로칼로 아니 개컵 다도세 대 안나루 개부 우타야나 아니지 고랑이 남스메 차로베 지기치남이 섬에 참도유메. They were very good friends, no? The king of the Rajgir and king of the Dado. So then the Uttayana gave, he sent a gift of armor which can protect from all weapons, all poison, everything. So the king Bimbisara was so happy and grateful. So King Bimbisara gita gave Uttayana charodilo chomji chingo besa ngalo amji chom, when they were giving gift. He wanted to give something equal in value, but it was very difficult to get something like that. It was almost a magical armor that he received. So then he asked his ministers, what should I give to my friend, from the king of the King Uttayana. Then he said that now only thing more valuable will be, that you're very lucky that in your country, your kingdom, the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni is, residing. If you can make a painting of the, artist to make a painting of the Buddha, if you give to your friend, that will be the best and the most precious gift. And then the king said, oh, very good idea. He sent the painter to see the Buddha. But when they saw the Buddha, Buddha's radiance was so much that he couldn't look at the Buddha and he couldn't measure the Buddha, the measurement. He couldn't the Buddha's radiance was so much. Then they thought what to do, and then finally came up with a solution that Buddha will stay there and there will be a, white kind of cloth. And then when they see the Buddha's light, kind of the shadow that casts on the cloth, and according to that, then they will do a measurement and write the Buddha's, the image, the paint of Buddha's image. And it is said that, if I remember correctly, before one historian was saying that is actually the first ever image of the Buddha that was made. Because during Buddha's time, of course, when you are there, who will make an image of you? And generally, they say even for a long time, they say that it was not really a tradition to make a Buddha image or paint. Usually in the olden days what they do is to represent Buddha they'll keep a throne, a small throne, and that throne they will venerate, and that throne represents the Buddha's the Buddha Shuti, Buddha's seat. So I was told even in the ancient temples, some paintings they just write a throne, and that actually means Buddha. The actual building statue came only after quite a bit of time later. Some say like that. So anyway, he gave that painting to his friend of the King Uddayana, King Bimbisara, and he was so happy, that when he heard that the Buddha's image is going to come, he went to welcome it with the elephant and the chariot and a long ceremonial procession. And that is, actually there's a lot of meaning to that part itself. It means that for Buddha it doesn't matter whether there's processions and offerings or not, but for us, if you value something, it gives you a joy. Right? If you don't value it, there's no joy, there's no blessing. Right? For example, why does diamond give so much happiness to a lot of women? Because you value it, right? Diamond, if you take away the value, it's just a stone. There are many other stones. Why does diamond give happiness, for example? It's because we have this concept of our valuing it. So diamond is considered very valuable. Equivalently, we feel happy. Why is it among all the strangers, when you see someone you love, your family, you feel happy? Because you value that person. So similarly, in terms of inspiration, in terms of merit also, when the Buddha statue comes, if there's a tongjaling or whatever your culture, your tradition of venerating, respecting it, even the prayer books also, not keeping it below you, not jumping over the prayer book, because if you venerate it, then you will venerate the words inside, and then these words will touch you and transform you. If you don't venerate it, it's just a book, it's just a paper printed in KMT, there's nothing special about it. So anyway, the king received, with a great procession, received the Buddha's thing, and then that he also accumulated a lot of merit, and just by looking at the Buddha's image, he got some realization. We have to meditate, but because of his devotion, just through the devotion, he realized certain first level of the realization is called when you become an enlightened monk, not a Buddha, but enlightened stage called Arahat. There's a fourth stage, Kyunshu, Chirong, Chirmyong, Tachomba, stream enter, which means that you recognize the nature of the shunyata, nature of the mind, you can say. He just by seeing the Buddha's image with so much of veneration, even we are like that, when you feel with a devotion, you go and you see a holy place or a Guru Rinpoche, you feel moved, you feel, receive the blessing. If there's no devotion, even Guru Rinpoche comes, and say, oh, where you come from? Okay, I'm very busy. I have to go to office, Guru Rinpoche, you have no work, I have to go to work. We'll probably say like that, So if there's no veneration, so anyway, he got the thing. Then he wrote a letter, oh, my friend, please send me a teacher, send me a monk. Then he asked Buddha, and Buddha sent, one monk and one nun, one monk, Arahat, who was also reached the enlightenment stage of Arahat, Katayana and Gelong Mating, and gave the teaching. And then so many among them, from there that, two kind of, some of their subject become, in that teaching or from their teaching, they became the Arahat. They reached they liberated from having to reborn again. So then after that, the his wife passed away and was born into the God realm, and he also felt a little tired, and also he was very inspired, so he left his kingdom to his son, and then he went to the Buddha and became a monk, and the king also, the Bimbisara's friend, also became Arahat. And then after he was king, that king became Arahat, when he was there, then he gave his kingdom to his son, and then the son was very good, but then later he was surrounded by bad ministers, and bad ministers influence him, and through their influence, because usually if you are, They say, that you are sum of who you surround yourself with. If they said, if you want to know your future, nowadays this is not a Buddha's word, but I don't know, some scientists or whatever, they said, if you want to know your future, look at the 6 people closest around you, then you will know what you're going to become. There's environmental impact. So anyway, because these kind of the ministers influenced, this young king, was doing all sort of wrong things and harming others, and not venerating the Dhamma, not doing things correctly. And then the news was listened by father, who had listened to it. And then he said, oh no, that is very sad. I'll go back to my kingdom and advise my son to do correctly. And then the ministers who were influencing got so scared, and they said, if the king comes, we'll get thrown out. So they went to the king and said, your father's coming back because he's so bored of becoming monk. He wants to become king again. You better to kill him, otherwise. So under the influence of, the ministers, he killed his father also. Even the king was already Arahat. So then that is as we talk on the first day, when you don't analyze things, when you get carried away by what people say without analyzing yourself, whether it is true, suitable for yourself, then we make a lot of mistakes. So he killed, and then later when they killed and brought the father's head to the son couldn't bear it, because he also felt a lot of regret for what he had done. He had killed his father. On top of that, he had killed the Arahat, who was who was reached such a high level of enlightenment. And then but then he was so under depression. Then the Limpos again, made up so many stories, that to basically to deceive the king, that, oh no, don't worry. They told his mother, please, now your son is depressed, please do something. Then the mother thought for a few days, and then he thought, okay, she told, actually, don't be sad. He's not your father. I had an affair with somebody, He's not your son at all, just it's okay, And then again he believed also. He also didn't do any. So that's why, if somebody is deceiving, we can get fooled very easily if you don't check, analyze. Again but he still had a, negative, he had a regret about killing a Arahat. Then the ministers told him, oh, it's a lie that there's Arahat. Do you remember in our country, in our kingdom, there was the 2 people who got Arahat and they got enlightened and they passed away. They didn't. They were born as a dog, the dog dog or cat. So what they did is they trained, 2 cat to say, whenever you mention these name of these 2 Arahats, they'll come to ask for a food, no. Let's train a Sangye, Doji, Then he told the king, these monks are not Arahat, they're actually born as a, cat. If you don't believe me, please go and see, your majesty. Then they took the king there, because king is very, king cannot be in the subject, no. So he's, whatever, there was no social media, nothing, no. So whatever ministers say, that is the only information, no. So the king went down there to see, and then the minister said, oh, the Sangye, Dorji, and of course, the 2 cats came out. So they gave, see, they were not Arhat, they are born as a cat, So the king also fell, like he felt. Then later when the Katayana, Papa Katayana came and gave teaching and said, don't do like that, then they said that, the king and the influence minister said, no, let's throw dust. He made a command that whenever Katayana comes, you all must throw dust on him to chase him away. So then, because Katayana was also a very highly realized monk, so then the Katayana told the few people who are his followers, that from tomorrow onwards there will be, for 7 days, you will see the sign. On the first day there will be a strong violent wind storm. On the second day there will be from the sky there will be flowers, flowers will drop. On the third day there will be clothes will come, precious clothes. And on the fourth day the silver. On the 5th day the gold. On the 6th day the jewels will come and shower from the sky. And then on the 7th day the dust will come, such a big dust will come, the entire kingdom and the citizen will be covered by the dust. And he told his follower, after the 6th day, as soon as you get the jewel, please run away from this kingdom. So then it happened exactly like that. There was a storm, and when the gold still were coming, then they all thought, wow, our king has so much sotisanam, that so much merit. See, gold showers are coming from the sky. So actually what happened is that it is said that, if you do lots of negative karma, so strong karma, for example, you do a lot, they said if you kill a lot of animal on the say chenga, say ge, you will become very rich. Why? Because whatever good karma you have left, for maybe in the next life, few lives you're going to enjoy, they will all come right now. You will enjoy, and then all good karma is finished. It's only that way you are actual karma to be born as a God for many lifetime, but it will just come into this life as a wealth, whatever. Then all your good karma is finished. Then you will go down for a long, long time. So that's why sometimes when you do yija and purification, some feel little bit pain, sickness, difficulty. That's actually a sign of purification. When you do a lot of negative things, sometimes good things happen. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a good adjustment. Whatever good karma is going to come, and then we are going to suffer for a long time. So anyway, it exactly happened like that. And then later they asked the Buddha, why is it there? What are the karma? Why did it happen? Then he said that the king who was, who was killed by his son, Uttayana, he said in the past life he was a hunter, and he put lot of nets to catch the animals. But there was a one enlightened monk meditating there, and because of his compassion, his blessing, protecting the area, no animals were getting caught. So he got so angry. He said, it's because of this monk. He must have done some black magic or whatever. I cannot catch anybody. So he shot a poison arrow at the Arahat and killed the monk. And then after that, even though he shot the arrow and the monk knew he was caught, still, he had no resentment, no anger, no, he's able to know, attachment to the dying, because he's already enlightened. He knows, he is going only up. Then he felt deep regret for what he has done out of anger. So then he did, with a deep regret, he collected all the remains of the Arahat and made a chotin of precious stones, and every day offering, and did a purification. And this hunter is the one that is the King Uttayana, because in the past life he built a chotin and venerated. That's why he was born as a king and very wealthy. But because he killed the Arahat, that is why for many lives also he was killed by other people, including this time his own by through his son's minister. And similarly, his son was also in the past life. She was born as a girl, and nobody was coming. She really wanted to get married, but nobody was approaching her. Then she got very upset, and then one day there was another enlightened monk, and by accident she threw a dust on the tail on the monk. Then that day, one person came and asked for her marriage in hand. Then she thought, oh, I think it's a good luck to throw the dust on the monk. So she began to throw, and she didn't teach. So that's why in the next life, she had to die under the storm, dust storm. So that is why Buddha has said, whatever karma you do, if you do strong purification, you can completely purify it. If your purification is not complete, then it can be reduced. Instead of going to hell, maybe 7 months of sickness, etc. So it can be reduced. If you depends on the strength of your purification, whether your purification has the 4 qualities or not, which we'll be talking about in later. So I think with that, this is from the Buddha's time, teaching about the different cause and conditions. It is said that only Buddha can know about the detail of the karma. We can't know. We can know in general. In generally, you can say that if you plant rice, in October you can get to eat rice. But it is general. It is not 100%. Because yes, you plant the rice, but maybe there's a storm coming. Maybe there's a rain coming, right? If a Buddha, then Buddha can tell, for example, he can look at a person and say, you are tall because you did like that. But you are tall, but you have a big mole on your nose because you did like that. For each and every cause condition, only Buddha, even Bodhisattvas, it is said cannot know, because it's so many cause and condition comes together, for in experiences. That is why when we talk of the karma, we are talking about generally, right? That and after lunch, I think we'll be doing a walking meditation. So walking meditation, when you are doing the walking meditation, we'll be from walking from here till, I think there's one point, or halfway we'll be chanting the Chizindrima Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. So Vajrayana way is that you visualize on your right shoulder lotus, moon and green tara, and you recite Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha mantra without getting distracted. Keep your mind focused on the tara. That is the go there. And when you come back on this comeback, you visualize the tara, and that time you don't use the mala, but you will recite in your mind. It's called Yikideba. So in your mind you have to count Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha 1, Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha 2, Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha 3, and then if you have forgotten the count, means your mind got distracted. Right? So that's why Ide is the most difficult but also most powerful. So that is the walking meditation from the Vajrayana way. Theravada way is more like you walk with awareness of how your feet feels, how your body, etc. But we will do the Vajrayana way. So 2 o'clock we'll be gathering here. We'll walk on a single line. We'll be Palus Om Tare Tu Tare Tan Ten Bicha. Te Pale Logom the Yigi Deba se. Chizindroma de Rangi Pumba Yeko se. Te Semgi Nalera Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha Nga Kale Majama Semgi Nale Bichami Tenu Yigi Deba se. Ngak de Dor Ngagi Deba, Dorji Deba, Yigi Deba se. Deba Lui Mandro Mandro Yu. So Pajo the Ngagi Deba, Logom the Yigi Deba will be doing. Okay. So namdi tamche sikpa ni tom nam ye be
do nam ji ge ga na je ba na do be izin be so le do nam de ora sho do gen ge za ji ni ye ba da je da je je de je je ba da za ma je be na ye na gen ja za ba de jo Do yin je lo ze wan de jamba do mi yin ye dom de cho do de dong dom se zong go zo li ni si lin ba ja qin ji bi ge la se wan de do je chen bo de je do je chun ze de le ma da na rong ba bi jin do be wa da ma min de nam lin jin lan gi lo ze wa Gyemba zomde ngare ati sha doge jari senum rinchen dan doge benman doge jing Sengye zengbo namla zewan de genje rezo namde gyawa je ngawa je da ge tsap benma ga chege de Gyemba lawa la ngawa namge shabla zewan de jode gyeme chaje jab Sonjo lamjo tene zojo ne wanje lamjo ringe gede Zome che na ringe zojo je je de wanjo doje labdi yi gege genze
Dalon geba la benden de zoje ande vege ngawa namge shabla zewan de gembe mare membe zojo
Zende yora mende ora nimbi ndimbo jomje la yi la ngawa namge chabla zi Kanzo zimje ngorwa le de chire jembe ndo je goja ramnye ne tele namje dowe de Je ze zo je jambar jo je go ja chin shi gi jin de je den wa nye me den dire do wa den zin do don de jamba goro Nyembe se je nyemba za wan de jen den den ja ma li do zin je nyen de jembe mba wa gi Nye je je do do de yin zo ze do je da we go la se wan de gang xie xie ja ma li gi Do ma gan de zo la xun lo ge la ze de je ge ga Je za zong de yang la se wan de nyam ye lu li mi ge do me ga je da den ba nyam bra Je za zong ja lam ye gen jen bo je da den ne den la se wan de tra se wan don be je Yo ze nga ye wan bi jab den shi da so de ja jo be shi nam la ti chin che ge go la go Kanyam jo la ben ba jong wa da be den ba ye re nem be je zo me la ma ge je Zang ba de le da do ye jo je ze tim nam da nor ze yang be shi shen be do ge ba sam ra ge Song jia nga ye de bo le dam be se nam ye ze shab la se wan de she jia kin zi ge le dam Do ye le ye me no ye sen ye be le nga ye wa den ze ra ye shab la ze Ge gen do ye ga je ra nga ye wa do wa nam la gen ga yen jen bo de zo che ge sen Ge nga ye ze shab la se wan de ka shi lo chu yang bi ge gang de je se lun ye da nam dir su ye ga de zam ye nga wa Ge ze la ma nam la se wan de la ma go kong sa ra se wan de cho do go ze de wa Te le da xin ge bra se wan de la ma da de wa mian bre je ge do en ben de ju ye ne
ne ba dan ba ye re ne ba da dan ba zin be ge ba da ko ze ge ze den Yang ha jen ba de ye ge do ge zim jen da ge sho ge
Yan
ba
ba
ja
ja
wa
wa zo mi zi je de ze je sho ju ji cha zi wa da
je je sha ba da je zo ye ra ku shi za wa he ge wa chun se da
da
ge
ge
je
ji za ba da
Nam je da ge jang shu je ma
Somaya Shiri Ejo Chudi Somye De Chen Shaba Dan Chegi Go Son Yenden Tele Dan Je Do De Bingo Chegi Bomba Don Da Ye Jo Za Ye Jong Gong Ba Be Ge Din Dan Je Je Zen Za Wan Da Ge Bra Je Be Be Le Lama Dan Ba Nam La Jab Sun Cho San Ge La Jab Sun Cho Je La Gen Dian La Jiao Zhen Jiao Zhen Dian Die Jie Jie Ma Ba Ma Zhe Me La Zi Gor Da Jia Ba Nam La Jiao Zhen Qiu La Ma La Jiao Zhen Qiu Zhen Ye La Jie Xie La Jiao Zhen Jiao Ye Dian La Jiao Zhen Jiao Zhen Dian Die Jie Jie Ma Ba Ma Zhe Me La Zi Gor Da Jia Ba Jiao Zhen Qiu La Ma La Jiao Zhen Qiu Zhen Ye La Jiao Zhen Jiao Jian La Jiao Zhen Ye Dian La Jiao Zhen Jiao Zhen Dian Die Jie Jie Ma Ba Ma Zhe Me La Zi Gor Da Jiao Zhen Qi Wei Zang Ji Qi Dang Zui Ge Jiao Nam La Jiang Jiao Ba Do Da Ni Jiao Zhen Qi Da Ye Jin Su Ge Bie Zhen Da La Bian Jie Zhen Ge Niu Zhou Xiao Zang Ji Qi Dang Zui Ge Jiao Nam La Jiang Jiao Ba Do Da Ni Da Ye Jin Su Ge Bie Zhen Nang Ye Da La Bian Jie Zhen Ge Niu Zhou Xiao Zang Ji Qi Dang Zui Ge Jiao Nam La Jiang Jiao Ba Do Da Da Ye Jin Su Ge Bie Zhen Nang Ye Da La Bian Jie Zhen Ge Niu Zhou Xiao Ra Ni Ge Jie Ge Jie Zhen Ma Si Ye Do O Bie La Dam Ye Zhen Ba De Le Ye Zi Zhe Jie Zhen Zhen Ma Dang San Ye Da Jiang Jie So Tam Jie Ge Ge Ro Dian Da Dar Wan Ban De Ri Sa Ma Yin Zi La Da La Min Jin Bin Ji Yang Jin Bin Ma Lan Din De Ba Ma Ge Len Den De Ma Yin De Ma Yam La Chan De Lo Ma Rian Da Ri Zan Ba Ri Wa Ri Argan Da De Zan Sa O Marian Da Re Zang Ba Re Wa Re Ba Nian Dan De Zang Sa Wa Ha O Marian Da Re Zang Ba Re Bin Bin Dan De Zang Sa Wa Ha O Marian Da Re Zang Ba Re Wa Re Do Be Da De Zang Sa Wa Ha O Marian Da Re Zang Ba Re Wa Re Ala Ge Da De Zang Sa Wa Ha O Marian Wa Re Gin De Da De Zang Sa Wa Ha O Marian Da Re Zang Ba Re Wa Re Niu De Da De Zang Sa Wa O Marian Da Re Zang Ba Re Wa Re Sha Son ye jiang jie ye ye zo zong ye che dong zo jiao la jiang jiang ba da da jiao jie rang jie di nie ra zhe che jiang jiao sem nie ge jiang jiao jie ye sem nie ye ye nie sem jie dang jie da ye jian do nie jiang jiao jie jie yang wang jie da la bian jie zang ye zhao ba xiao ye jiao sum la da jiao jie jie ba dang jie zang zhe ye ye le jie ye ra zang ye jiang jie ye ye zang sang ye che dang cao jiao la jiang jiang ba da da Rang Jian De Nie Ra Zhe Qi Jiang Jia Zhen Nie Ge Bu Ra Ye Jiang Jia Qiu Ye Sem Nie Ge Ge Nie Sen Jie Dang Jie Da Yin Jia Jia Jie Jia Yao Wan Jian Bu Ra Ye Zhou La Bian Jia Zang Ye Zhao Bu Ra Xiao Gen Jiao Sum La Da Jiang Jie Jian Ba Dam Jie So Zi Xia Zhe Ye Yin La Sanje Janja Yegi Zon Sanje Jadang Socho La Janja Bardo Da Jaja Rangshin Dine Ra Daja Janja Zemne Janja Jaya Zemne Gege Nye Saja Da Jada Ye Dendo Nye Jaju Jaja Yawan Do La Benja Sanje Dom Bare Shom Bandare Me Soja Nara Nye Soja Bare Injur Zenja Dan Jade de ja da de mura je je ja dan je do nye da do nye ge je dan je ora sen ja dan je do nye men ben de wa da me je ora je je sen ja dan je do de ge jo cha da nye re de do nye je mo la ye re do de am ba re je ro je om so ba wa bi shu de sa wa da ma so ba wa bi shu de ha om so ba wa Sawa Dhamma Zambhavam Bishudi Ha Wa Sabhava Bishudi Sawa Sambhavam Bishudi Ha Cheze Da Toze Nam Shinto Da Ambara Ikira Namya Sarvanda Da Chum Bishamu Gembe Sawa De Aga Oga De Sabaranda Yama Gaga Nakanga Sawa Ha Namya Sarvada Chum Bishamu Gembe Sawa De Aga Oga De Sabar Yama gaga na kang sawa ha na me sawa da da ga da jo be shamo ki bi sawa ne oganda sawa ra na yama gaga na kang sawa ha je te da je te la de be lo ja me sa ba jo nam yi ze do om ban za ame da gin de la ha na ho be om ban za ame da gin de ha na ho Om Banza Omeda Gendale Hana Ho Be Nam Kate Delia Sose to Jeje Da Om Bong A Dese Dong A Sisu Joba Chia Jong Ray Jo Namia Sawada Da Awalugate on Sambara Ho Namia Sawada Da Gada Awalugate on Sambara Namia Sawada Da Gada Awalugate on Sambara Ho De Namra Rangi De Cheze Da Toze Chide Wadam Jedara Oye nyana awalu gede namaza meda rememba wasamaya mama ni doro hidaya dola ni hoa om nyana awal namaza meda rememba wasamaya mama ni doro hidaya dola ni hoa om nyana awalu gede nama rememba wasamaya mama ni doro hidaya dola ni hoa da yi leshin degi dang sui yara che amara Tendam Jalamban Yame Baloka Topa Pi Wara Chura Nama Samenda Bedana Tay Shari Tabinza de Ma Samaya Nama Samenda Bedana Tay Shari Tabinza de Ma Samaya Soha Nama Samenda Bedana Tay Tabinza de Ma Samaya Soha Tendam Jegeta Jegama Jambara Injur O Zomba Jenda Sawa Dama Zomba Da di ni ga dong ba nian dong jiran de tra da ye de ko na ni den dong ba te ba da ya te wa je da yem ba da yan de ko na ni da yem ba de ne cha da wa ba te ba je da nam ra me da be na we ko di ni da da lai de ko yara me che bar jur dong be ang le om da re do re so wa ha che be ma ye da ge na be nam kha la da Da la ye de ko na ni ye me che ba de ye ke ko ge je be den do nga ge da ge na ba nam ko la da ba de ni jo la chu se ge jam ye do de nam ba den do ge ba yo zo ja ba le o ba la tam ge chen be da om da re do re so wa ha che be ko da wa ja je nga da jam ba le ye ze na su chung yi zi mu ni je ze ma pa ma de me la ye so ba do me ba Di namge yen tang chen chambra je yawa tam je la chebe tin chenpo tibi leba chen ya chen chenpo te ba le desi char chin ba be yawa la so be dawa tam che ge dong ye ge me na shen te chen ba la ye go tang chen be ye se la ra lo rang ye sim dawa cha se nga da chen ba la ten ba yo so Randan dingi ki nye so ben ma da da we den ba je ma pa ma de ma ko do ja ni she je cha ne ge ye che je da yin gen jo som sen ge cha ja cha ne o be la nyen bo chen ba she she som da ze ji yi tok ba o la ra ba ji ji su je be la me ko de ge ran ba je u jin la so ba ge na so be ge je la ze ge da ge na ze Ten Zambo, some Jo Tanya, the Beja Zambo, Gigi, the Yeke. Shop Air Jashi Ian Gombe, Segi Lama Yedam, Chabia Katia Tanjaba, Koya Ina Jabia Jawa, Oma Garba, Demba. Mbara Juro, Ombema, Yimba, Soha, Ombema, Yimba, Soha. Ombema Yeba Soha, Ombema Yimba Soha, Ombema Yeba.
Yendel Lenzo, Sishi Nyamni Topi Nejurba, Chume Joye Gumbo Pelden Lama, Pelegawa Dogomba Chogi Siringe Sombe Chundir, Gosum Gucha Danje Jabdo Cha Jepil, Dia Pinde June Gewe Temba Rimboje Dini, Minyam Yundin, Targe Chochur, Delvele, Rime Tenzin Kibo Nam, Kutsoshin Shel Chubada, Togo Moli, Bimel Hunge Jubada, De Nodula Tene Jide Kamso, Nemo Chuzu Shishin Zoden Sarbe Pela Chubada, Gyoso Jiden Di Siki Uji Dambe, Toso Cham Ninje Chanjuki Sim Chukjing, Jidenge Kamdir Digi Dambe Chune, Chuse Sondreki Uji Yanda Be Lamluk, Choso Kyabadam, Dir Deden Jimbe Dabu Namgi, Togon Tada Drup, Kyawane Tsara Tamjido Dambe Chugi Gorushudi, Nimbo Chanju Chumbe Goban La Regbe, Tome Samjar Daja, Sorche Damba Ningara Kyode Duba Rimbocher, Jimbe Damo, Kama Jumane, Dizo Yola Yeme Sewe de Chiching Adondang, Yang Yeshe Juma da Nima Sejen, Hazomne, Dizo Yola, Shidu de Sumdondang, Dechenda Desene, Dizo Namla, Ngaju Sewe de Chudondang, Chabje Gawa Dogamba Chola Gabdin, Dindong Abjatamba da Gede Yola Change, Sumjang Abjuje, Chedang. Amma Desene, Suja Manja de Abdon Tamba da Gede Rela, Change Chija Reche, Bilam Shiba Dang. Yang Madam Dawa Zamo Dang, Charo Desene, Yeme Sewa Dang, Kame Gyasar, Gyabje Gawa Dogamba Chola Gyabden, Goro Chikchi Tongme Sumja Tamba Dang, Gede Yola Change Chija Reche Dang, Pelden Kanto Dang Sazane, Chiru Sochoge de Gudon Tamba Dang, Nima Tsonga Ne Chum Yachi Dang, Om Katunchi Gade Chosumge Ngane, Bilam Shiba Di Kongi Dendun Tata Nyodo Jube, Tome Gamjo Sewe Seba, Kingen Genshi Sowa Debala.
저 준나 주베 상계단 찬주 셈바 담지 짐벤다고 dorji penjor yeshe tsoge tsiring lam kinzang laki dorji dawa zammo norbo zammo tsiring kinshin namda palden khandro geden lam shirap drema pema chuki kezang yangchen deshin wangmo ugin rinzin wangde tsiring yangdun tsiring chuzum jingme wangmo sangye wangmo namge wangmo pema chudun deshin drema wangmo genbo dorji yeshe dorji tanjin kinle nima zammo tsiring zammo tenzin chudun tsiring lammo deshin chudun Tenzin peki tenzin cheyang pema yangshin deshin pema chuten norbo kinle wangmo leki wangmo kenchol hamo kinle wangmo karma drema sangye dorji amma tesum ngima hamo tupten norbo namgi thoja dashin namka dangyambe simchen tham chela chimbabon namgi dedargi bengewe tsawala te nechirge pende jone sangye ge temba rimbo je chode nego tamchid nyeba dangurdir che de dashin gela yu ringdo Tembe zalam palden laman damba jor chegwa dam jege togi gomba kebar jengo ne gondo yongso tada je jube dinzingi gebo damba namge kuzen zewa chinlege bardo jeba dam jinge warash tetra ku khamzang la ku zerin jenro den chinlege dam ga dan yawar tenamge tuje jinab la den daja namge lagwe samba number da we du chimbe da won dida ge sedir ne tön Gegen barjin medün be çözün gür vatam jinge var. Tügen döbe dön tamcı çödün iyi şindo. Sedan sondan benjur yeşet tamcı yarngın da dar peşin. Ciden ende ben güba tamcı. Jiden dan jiden len dewe pezun sogo tam je da yang da wor jiden ye kam tam je doang lo ju da do le shi cha ju du zomba ba minne chune la sogo gyun chit dewa dang dorna chimbe da we to dang da jin nam ga dang ye besim jin tam je dewa dang den dong ye dang jal de yur du nam ba tam je kem ba sang ge ki ko bang ren bo che
do de yu chi gang ge jin ba gang lo je jin ba je de jin ba nyam ba di ni ge jin da de la yong zo xiao ge bo ji da nie da ni zhen jie bong bo jin da la de re ni da da de wa dong ba le xiao ze lo jia tu ji dian jia dong wang de de re ni me de ge bian zo so de ba do je de ja de le xiao o ma ri a da re za ba re ar ga da de za zo la mo da wa da ga zo za do lo zo ye be ga be do de we de ye do de za ye do ye o mo mo da bi o bi o la mo na ga da de zo de ye ye ba de ye ga do be te we de ye do de zo je do je o ma ba do be o bi o la mo tam de da ma zo ye je bon je ye do ga ma de ye do de zo je do je o ma ba da lo ye o be la mo ma ge da jang zo de be se ye jo be di jo di gi do je de do je o ma ba da ge de o na mo ze da ze zo ba ja lo ja ga lo ye ji de ge do de yin do je o ma ba za ye de o be la mo be da ye je lo de ye do de je do je o ma ba za do 저제 제제 얘기 원게 레바 데모 남예 저제 데모 게모 제모 냥예 데제 지 냐마서 옴다야 안데 레니라도 게모 얘기 제베 마니 게베 레바 혼레 데모 저전도레 점년다베 오예 나베 자베 냐마레라 벤다라다 베제제 선나 야와 자잘라예 저에나베레다 다제 찬난 따라니 제베게 예예 도나 말레 바네 세마 차잘라 선나 게보라다 미야 제예 되나 게냐가 자고에 제게 자다 멜라 냐마 자제냐마 다와게 베제냐 발라 야라자 하라니 제도 다레이 신도 다비레니 자제데니 선나 게베 제베 도다 양다데 대다라라 대예선다 장바들 양아 예대바 대다 자제원 예쇼자 제모지제 마바마제 말라 자제로에 자제다레 냐마바바도다레 제바 도레데게 제베 점와서 예게 게라 대도 자제데 냐마바모 제제게 제로다 자바 제데 자게 제게 셰게 게스라 제와 레냐 자제되게 다와에게 저가와에 제대 제베 점와 가르마 동차 차바 자제정의 전예게게 베며 천여 남브라게 마점바 제제가도 쇼와 자바 섭지 제예 냐마 자제데 게베 저저대여 남브라게 와 점마 마랴바 점바 더베게 베세게 신도 데마 자제도 다라호 예게 데다 제제나바 잡게 년절라바 메바 고브라 냐마 자세 자제 멜라 잠바 로라 나서 와쇼 저보로라 제자 남다 네제 저게 데네 데마 자제 제제 자다 베게 바레 저거랍도 예고 연자 잡게 네데 메브라 저바 젠도 버마 자제 자바 제보 되게 보에 남브라자 저게 제네 돈예 데세 도에 다제 말려 자제 genjo sumse jaye samadaka nambragem male chage kolage ve range yege 자제 라도 가와 제베 오게 예게 테베 마셔와라제 도다레 데다 제데와 자제자제 주에 전나 다자 고바 녀모 저예예 예게 원게 바바 다제 나모 자제데베 도보 예게 바 다제 베르나 야바멜레 다브라 신도 여라자마 자제게베 타메메 베데 예나냐마 예자예가 자제겐제 열라 자예 댕예 네제 점네도 도제젠제 예게 원게 레바 뎀보 남네 자제데마 게마 제마 냐예 데제 주예 냐마서 온다 야데 저보 점보 점보 냐마 자제겐예 거라가에 데야데냐라도 예게제베 원예게베 레바 홀레 데바 저제도레 점네다베 오게다베 자베 저절라예 제나베레 다다제 차나 나마다라네 제베게 예게도 나말레 바냐세마 자젤 소나 예보라다 미아에 제예 덴바게냐 가자가에 제게 자다 멜랑 gem바 자제냐마 도에게 제냐발라 야라세마 하라 네제도다 데냐세마 자제데냐 소다게베 셰베도다 양다 데다라라 네제존다 jam바드레라 조냐마 자베 데바데다 자세원예 네조자에 지오모지즈마 바마제말라 자제로에 자제다레냐마 바모도다 제바섬 도레데게 예베레마소 예게 켈라데도 자제데 요마 바모 제네게제로다 제제자기 요예제게 게세죠 렌예 정마 자제 너겐도 고 자제제베 karvatonda savanam yerata chi yera parma chaze zangwa chani yama chaze namba jamba zanto kato yewa zava samde chiye chaze je chebe zo zo taya namra gewa Maria Baria Jabata Give Segi Shinto chaze do da ra yege de da chada namra Yede Nambo Jabgi Ninde Laba Meboga chaze je mela zamba lola nasa wanjo Jumbo rola daza namda nije togi de chaze je jada vege vara jaga raza Ego yenja jabgi ninde mebra tumba shinto barma chaze Chiva jimbo degi boya namra Chogi shende tonye deze toya tanje mali Chaze genjo sumse jagi sama dokra namra Yegi zanda duma chaze rato gawa jebi ogi yegi tebe Shiva raje dada raye teta cheje wanda sema chaze saje choye Taja gobra nyama chanye yewe yege wange baba tanje nambar Chaze dewe deba wage gyaba taje shindo barma rebi tena yeba Yara zama chaze gebe tame medam bawe tewe yenan Go yenya gorge de abanye namra jama chaze sache Nyala jage denge neje jamne Tonye jeze yege wage deba namne chaze dema gema nyange deje jeye nya So omda yanda dembe deba chambo jamba chaze genya kara gaye de lenya rado gya Yege jebe ngane gebe reba honle dema chaze ndore jamne dabe oge nabe sabe nya Rera menda rada beje jede sana yawa chaze laye tsoye nambe reda daje chanana Dara neje Dona male banya chaze laye tsona gyabo lada mya jeye tenpa genya gacha gawe jege zada mela nyam chaze nyama dawa gebe jenya bala yaras Ara neje doda rayi shindo debi rimye chaze denye tsona gebe shewe doda yanda de Yanda rola neje tsona jamba duri raja nyama tsawe chaze wane nye sho zai ji zi jom den de mai du ji da da ta ye se je tam je ge dem ne jia xi co ne nyo ro zo de zo me san ye do zi do se de ma tu ge se ra ge ya la da me ye de we cho do him de tabje kemba jamba je la bar chi de nim do ne la so de me chi wara jara ba na da me la yen da te ma yen ba da je ba ge zo an ra wa se na nyo do xie xie me bar ze do se je de le ne de ye zha xie de le be zo co bai na be xie ge be de na ma ba be me le ge zhe ba ra ze do se zhe la zi xi dam je be da da to ke zhe xie qiu da wai da do nie dian do jia yang da da ra be je ge ba ra zi ge be ge ko ra za xie ga wa de re be ma dam xian do ze le ge da wa tai ge we ge som do lo de ba da ge de re do sho da ge ce rap ge ne do na de so sa ge 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 de le ma wo ja xi jie cha nian ye ma yom je om nam be da xi xiao ge yom de me ki ko de da go na da zi yo re xiao ge la de ji se wa da be de da za gan du ne de de ye bo da zi xi wa da che da zhe xi